First of all, the nurses' unions are demanding a 17% pay rise. Why on earth is that affordable or realistic?
Well, good morning. I don't think it is, as much as a huge sympathy for the NHS's nurses' pay and remuneration. I mean, it's true, over the last 10 years, they've seen the value of their income erode by 20% because of inflation. So, I mean, they've got a case. But 17%, I mean, if you just do some back of the fag packet numbers, if you say the average nurse is earning, say, 30,000 a year, I mean, there's a lot less than that and a lot more, but just, take that figure as a guide. And 17% of that pushes it, well over an extra £5,000. There are 250,000 nurses who are probably on the agenda for change contract. You do the maths, and the Treasury's then looking at both barrels of £1 billion, plus national insurance contributions, plus pension contributions. So, with the best will in the world, the way the economy is, I mean, I guess we'll find out more next week in the autumn statement, but it's a big ask.
It's a huge ask of an enormous amount of money. And I just wonder how the public will respond to this, given that everyone probably thinks that people should be paid more. Of course, that's a natural thing to think. But comparing nurses' wages with wages in the private sector, especially when we include all of the different benefits, particularly the gold-plated pensions that people have in the public sector, it's fascinating. We've got a graph here to show what the contributions of nurses are. I think we can show this now in terms of what nurses actually earn. And if we include the annual accrued pension benefit on top of some of the unsocial hours pay that they get, nurses outside London, on average, that benefit, that value, comes to £50,000 a year. For those that work inside London, that's £60,000 a year. We're not talking about people on poverty wages here.
No, you're right. And I agree. And of course, you put your finger on it, Tom, when you say it's how the public are going to react. I mean, normally, if you go on strike, if you work for a supermarket, for example, you go on strike, the idea is to deny the employer the income from sales because the shop is closed due to a strike. That's kind of straightforward. But if you look at the government situation, we've got trusts who are actually the employers. They hold the contracts of employment, but the terms and conditions are negotiated by the Department of Health on a national basis. So the trusts can do nothing to influence what is going to happen here. Now, if you get to a situation where the public are going to say, do you know what? The nurses don't do too badly. I've got a couple of kids who are working at the moment. They haven't had a pay rise. I haven't had a pay rise. And you know what? My granny's waiting for a new hip. Call it quits, kids. Let's get to the end of this strike. And that, I think, is what the government will be gambling on. I mean, they've come out this morning with a very strong message. They said that we've given everybody the pay review body recommendations, which were 4.5%, 4.75%. They paid that. Everybody's getting help with their electricity and gas bills and what have you. I mean, I think the government are going to try and tough this out. But, well, I guess we'll see. There won't be a strike, I don't think, until just before Christmas. But I think they'll tough it out.
Well, hopefully something can be agreed. No doubt not the 17% pay rise being demanded, but perhaps something more akin to what people in the private sector are getting this year.
I think, Tom, they'll split it in two. It'll end up with 6% this year, 6% next year. They'll have to do it like that if they want to talk. But Steve Barclay doesn't look to me like he wants to talk.